Today we have a Madden 25 offensive scheme in the gun Trey open offset formation. This scheme is to be combined with the 5-6 trap run scheme I put out a while ago. That video can be found in the link below and the description. I also will place it as a link on the screen right now. In this video breakdown, we break down 3 passing plays: PA read, red zone under, and FL dig. For this scheme, suggested audibles are going to be: you come out in the counter or the 5-6 trap from that previous run play video, and you have PA read, red zone under, and FL dig in your audibles. And the other run play that you don't come out in, have that as your other run play. Let's get into the breakdown, guys. Now this is the first play, PA read, a really good play action play that works well if you've been running that counter and that great 5-6 trap play. This is going to be random man defenses we're going to break it down against. That square comeback route is a great route to destroy man defense. Okay, the X route is a drag route that usually is going to be open if he does not get pressed. If he gets a free release, he will be open on the right side of the field if you're running this play the way I'm showing it here. But if you have this play flip, he'll be open on the right side then compared to the left side, the way I'm running this play. Now, that R1 receiver, you want to be a good, speedy, a great route running receiver with decent speed, good hands. So we have Keenan Allen there. He'll get open against most man defenses. Keep in mind, that middle of the field in between the hash marks is usually where the user is going to be going. So those two routes, circle and R1, you want to look at who they go to cover. It's kind of hard to cover them both, and you just choose which one to go to just in case they're covering. But let's break down this against man defense, and then I'll show you another setup. This comeback route, as long as that cornerback is in front, this route is always going to be open, okay? Next, we'll look at the R1 and the X route. Our next read is that X. If he gets bumped, let's see, he didn't get bumped. Well, he did kind of get bumped, messed up. We go to R1 next, okay? Now, we didn't catch that ball, but you want to make sure he has good position, okay? X did not get bumped. X will be open, and we can pick up some yards, okay? If X gets bumped or the user decides to come down and play that R1 route is going to be open, okay? And if that user is guarding the R1 route, that circle is going to be open. I typically never throw to that circle, but every once in a while, I'll throw to circle if R1 is being covered, if they're using it. Right here, you can see right here, R1 is going to be wide open. If we can get it over there almost. You see right here, we still don't have that X being bumped. R1 is going to be open again. We almost got a touchdown. We did get a touchdown. Okay, Keenan, I see you, bro. Whenever I see press defense, I always streak or fade route my square receiver, okay? And I'll look for him to get a beat on this guy. He had it right there, and it's just an over-the-shoulder pass and an easy one-play touchdown. If that is not open, you still do have that R1 route. Okay, like right here, it's not open. I think I put him on a post route instead. There we go. Easy one-play touchdown. You can also motion over that X tight end. Now, he'll be open depending on what type of man defense they have. If it's a press defense, it might be pretty tight, but he'll be open as well, okay? You also can hit that. Let's get into the breakdown of cover 2. Now, this is the play against cover 2 zones. Multiple cover 2 zones are going to be called right here. Our first thing is we want to fade route our square receiver, okay? We also want to bring another person over there. For instance, this running back, we can outroute him to the left just in case it's a cover 2, get that flat zone to come down there. Okay, if they go to the flat zone, we'll have that open square receiver in between those zones. Okay, we'll call it a few times right here. It's going to be open in between these zones, in between that safety and that cornerback. And usually if they're playing some type of defense, we can do it over here too. If they're playing some type of defense, usually you can get a one-play touchdown with this, like right here. Okay, you can easily get a one-play touchdown. Okay, but you really can streak these guys or fade route them against these defenses and just wait until they're open. Now when he wasn't open, we can always hit this triangle. This route is going to be open. I was looking at that circle and that was some type of match. He played it and he stayed with it, but okay. Let's see how he does this time. Stay with it. We go to that triangle and just pick up our 10-15 yards. That's the cover 2. Let's get into the breakdown of cover 3. Now this is the play against cover 3. The comebacks, depending on how they're playing, that's always going to work. He's in front. We can easily get that open. Sometimes in a cover 3, that outside linebacker usually goes to help to cover. Like right here, you can hit that X. He's going to go up there, hit X. Your next read is X, then R1, and then circle. In a cover 3, watch out for the users. We have R1, and we also sometimes have circle. In cover 3, you also can block and release or out route that running back. And usually, depending on what type of defense they're calling, he'll be open for a lot of yards. Against cover 3, I like to sometimes put that square receiver on a post route. And if he doesn't get pressed or anything, a nice pass lead to the inside and you can pick up a lot of yards and almost score a touchdown like we just did there. Now for cover 4, you're going to read this play. If the receivers are going to the left, you're going to read it starting on the right. We're going to go circle, R1, X, and square. Okay, we're playing Alexander, so we're going to look at R1 instead, and then you can look at X and then square. Okay, R1, circle is going to be open right there. For some reason, he got a good release, okay, on Alexander. Usually won't happen, but that's your first read. Then you can wait for that X route. That zone will not stay with them unless they're using it. Be careful. That's the middle of the field. And sometimes that square route in cover 4, that square route, as long as that cornerback is in front and backing up, you'll always be able to hit that. Okay. You also can hit this R1 route. I didn't like that. Let's hit X. I did not like that. Everything was covered. Okay. So let's look at that again, and then we'll get into the breakdown of the next play. As you see right here, okay, we're looking at circle first. He's covered. R1 is covered, basically. Okay. Then we did probably have that comeback, but that's not our next read. Our next read is X. I should have hit him right then and there, but I waited. And we're able to hit him. Now this is the play red zone under. A really great play. I utilize this in the red zone also to score easy touchdowns with that R1 and circle route. Now, I'll show you again, against man defense, these comebacks and curls, they work great. If that comeback is being covered like that, you'll go to that running back. I usually put the running back in this play on an out route, okay? Right there. Again, backed up. There's nothing they can do. We can pick up our yards. I do sometimes put this guy on an out route. Depending on how he is being played, I like to try to pick up yards with that as well. Now, the right side of this play is really great. Okay, your reads are going to be circle R1. Okay, against man defense, that circle receiver, if he gets a good release, he's going to be wide open. And this is against Alexander. But that R1 route against man defense really is great. Look at that. It's open. It's like the zig route a little bit, but it's just downfield. And you can hit this all the time in man defense and pick up a lot of yards. You've been running that PA read. They think they're coming across, and you hit that. Depending on how they're playing that circle route, he got open. We go to circle first. That's your reads on the right side. Circle and R1. Can sometimes drag this guy and motion him over just like we're running that counter. Okay, and he'll be open. Hit him, pick up yards. It's a lot of great things you can do with this play, but I really like that route's right side. Now, if you have a really good tight end and it's man defense, you can sometimes hit this tight end, but I mean, you got to have a really good tight end. that is not open all the time. It'll be open in those zone plays that we'll break down next, but you see right here, unless you have a really good tight end, he won't get open like that most of the time. But against certain man defenses, like right here, it's not going to be open. But that's the man defense. Let's break down cover 2. Now this is cover 2. If you're playing cover 2 a lot, you're going to streak your circle receiver, okay? And then you're going to drag your square. Okay? That's my setup against cover 2, okay? Now, again, against the cover 2, depending on how they're playing, oh, Jesus. The circle receiver is going to be open a lot, okay? Also, if you streak your circle receiver, now in the zone plays, the X is going to be open a lot too. Okay, we'll run that again. That X, that guy plays beneath, we'll put this out route over here for the running back, and then we'll streak the circle. Now X will be wide open. Just got to get into practice mode and practice passing this play. Okay, practice that in practice mode. Also, again, remember, against the cover 2, if you make sure that flat zone is occupied and it's not a match, okay, you can always hit that streak with the pass lead towards the outside. We'll streak that square receiver again. Okay, take it like this. Up, it's going to be open. Easy pass lead towards the outside for a lot of yards. Okay, now let's break down that right side, that great right side, that R1 and circle. Against cover 2, circle wide open. Okay, circle is always going to be open unless they're user in that. Okay, you see, circle wide open. Just pick the yards up. Pick the yards up. And if they cover circle, okay, you can also put this running back on an out route, and we can hit R1 if we have time. R1 is going to be open as well. Okay, that's against the cover 2. Okay, you also can drag square. Cover 2, you can drag square, slant square, pick up your yards that way. But depending on what they're calling, this is always a one-play touchdown towards your tight end. It's always a good one-play touchdown. Again, that streak takes that safety out of there, and this is going to be wide open most of the time, okay? Most of the time. And if just got to pay attention to that safety. R1 is going to be open. I didn't like the way they were playing X. Now, against a cover 4, that out route of this running back is always going to get open, and you can pick up a lot of yards. Just the way that cover 4 plays. Of course, you know those flat routes are going to be open unless they're press and playing a hard flats. Okay, usually you get open, and they can always pick up a lot of yards. That comeback as well as if you put this actual comeback on the field. If you put the comeback on the field right here, this is going to be open in the cover 4 as well. Okay, and that curl route. Okay, now going to the right. Okay, there's 2 things I like to do. I like to streak that R1 receiver. I'll show you if we run it this way. R1 circle is only sometimes open, but I don't like the way cover 4 plays that, so I don't run those routes unless I know they're using it. Sometimes you can hit the circle receiver, but that R1 receiver is really locked up in cover 4. So I'll streak that R1 receiver, okay? And then I look for X. Okay? And then you'll just get a lot of yards. It just kind of glitches it out. That R1 takes that safety out of the way, and then the X is going to be wide open for easy one-play touchdowns. So this is the play FL dig. I like to run this play stop. I don't do anything, and it doesn't matter. You're just going to be reading the left side of the field versus the right side of the field. On the left side, you're going to look at square and triangle, okay? Depending on how they're playing square, you're going to go to square. If not, you're going to go to triangle and pick your yards up, okay? Doesn't matter what defense they're in. All you're doing is just looking at if he's on the inside. If he's on the inside, you can pass lead that to the outside. If that cornerback is in front or on the outside, don't pass it. Okay, he's on the outside. I don't like it. Pass it to triangle and pick your yards up. Let me make a move on you real quick. Now going to the right, we just read X. X is going to be open right here. We read X, R1, and circle. Now that user is going to go and play X most of the time. So you got to be careful. X again. Let's just hit X real quick. And you got to be ready to make that pass really quick. But going to the right, X, R1. Got X, R1. That guy was backing up. And if R1 is covered, you're going to go to circle. X, R1, circle. Come across. Come on, circle. Just like that. Really, really easy play. Really, really easy play. X, R1, circle. I don't know why Rome is dropping that. He is going up against Alexander. X, R1. And you just pick your yards up. You have so many plays, guys. This is what I do for you. It's your boy Wayne 6578. Yep, I'm outie. But I'll be locked up.